Hi, I'm Jenna.
And I'm Erin.
And welcome to Between Two Filing Cabinets, where we bring you tips, trends, troubles, and stories from HR. And today we're going to be talking about a butt. Not the type of butt you might be thinking, but I wanted Erin to share a really great tip that when I see her training with organizations or doing coaching with people, I think this tip really resonates with people, and so I thought it'd be a good one to share because it can have such an impact on the trajectory of conversations and coaching and meetings with people.
Thanks, Jenna. Yeah, well, I mean, it really is just as simple as to watch your butt, but your butts that come out of your mouth, not the other kind. We are between two filing
That's our
cabinets,
harassment conversation.
I mean, that's a very different conversation we're not going to have today. But really watching how we use the word butt in our conversation. So I find that a lot of times when people are giving feedback, particularly in a coaching context, using that word will just bring down the entire conversation. So for example, if I want to give someone some feedback, I'm saying, Jenna, you're a really important part of this team. I really want to see you continue to succeed, and you're knocking it out of the park in so many areas. But there's this one area we need to talk about. There's this one area we need to focus on. What happens when I say that, but?
Right. My mind gives immediate pause. Be like, I've dismissed every positive thing that you've just told me, and I'm like, there's something bad that's coming.
It's all gone. It's like I might as well have taken out a big eraser and just erased everything that I said before that, but
right.
And so that's what people hear, and so it's really simple. But even just changing that but to an and has an immense difference in the way that it impacts your listener. So if I were to say, Jenna, you're a really important part of this team. You're knocking out the park on so many areas, and there's just this one area that I'd like to talk about with you that I see where you have some opportunities for, becoming really awesome like you are in these other areas.
Right. My mind didn't do that pause, even though I knew what you were going to say. It's because I think our brains are trained to listen for that, and we know that means something's up.
Right, we're dressing something up. It's like, get to the point.
Right.
And this way, the point is, you are an important part of this team.
Right.
And there's this other area we need to talk about it. We're incorporating both. And it's more than just linguistics. We have I think this, as humans, we tend to have either or thinking. We engage in either or thinking. Either I can be an important part of this team, or there's this opportunity for improvement. It can't be both. And with coaching, so much of it is finding that both. And so conveying that, you are great, and I want to see you continue to improve, and that's what this involves. The impact is so much greater.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, too, because it's also something that we train on in our resilience and stress management class, is really kind of embracing that and in terms of stress too. Yeah, this is frustrating or stressful or change is scary, and there's an opportunity to come from it, and we can have this great growth opportunity as well, and embracing both. It can be two very different things at once. And it's really important to kind of validate that, to have that understanding that's change is difficult, and we can do this. So it's linguistics. It has a much softer landing on the ear. And I think just from a kind of general philosophy, life philosophy, stress management perspective, it's kind of a cool little life hack too.
Yeah, I think it's such a great tip, and you'll find yourself when you're having those conversations. I mean, even if it's not a work-related conversation, it might be a personal conversation, a difficult one. You'll find yourself thinking about that, going, I just said but, and I should have said and. And the more you sort of practice it, I think the easier it becomes and sort of natural.
Right. And we say but all the time. Right. And most of the time it's not a big thing. It's not going to stand out. And with those other conversations, when there is something kind of loaded, or there's something kind of vulnerable about it, or it's kind of about performance.
Yeah.
That's when we really want to pay attention. And I do have people ask, what about however? Is however okay? And however is just a fancy but.
Yeah, I think so.
I think it's just a fancy but.
Yeah, it's still that we've been trained to go something's up when we hear that. Yeah.
If you really want to create that distinction, you could always say and at the same time. if you want to kind of counter it, but
Right.
no, don't do the butt.
All right. I've heard people say in your trainings, oh, watch your butt.
Watch your butt.
Yeah. So I think that was a great tip, and I think it can really have a positive impact on the conversations that you have and how people react to them. So we're gonna file this one under
Butt.
Under butt. Okay. All right. Well, we'll see you next time. Thanks.